Hidden away at the back of Chirk in Wales, there is a short section of canal, maybe around 1,000 foot, sandwiched between a small tunnel and a lovely traditional humpback canal bridge. To the thousands upon thousands of visitors and people who will pass by here every year by boat, boot and bike, and even those casually glancing on Google Maps, there's almost nothing to draw attention to this particular area, especially not with some of the epic aqueducts and scenery around. And that is exactly why I want to talk about this area today, because to me, this is a place filled with amazing boat life memories. A decade ago, I was here on my first winter, and we had the drama and excitement of some really heavy snowfall. And equally, a year ago, I was here trying to spend my first night on board with my girlfriend. Although Charlie the dog's amazing snoring put an end to that. Moving swiftly on from that, it would be absolutely criminal to only focus videos on the absolutely epic standout features of this area, such as Chirk Aqueduct and Viaduct here. I mean, just look at how amazing this place is. And this is footage I just happened to collect while I was testing out my new super torch down there recently. Equally, upstream from my generic stretch of canal, we've got this absolute epic attention hoovering feature of the mighty Pontcysyllte Aqueduct as it crosses the valley, crosses over the River Dee and gives you these spectacular views from both the top and beneath it. And then if you went downstream further, you'd find yourself at an absolutely lovely idyllic area such as Ellesmere with all of these lakes dotted around. You can imagine how much attention these features gain and how much they take away from these little stretches that I've spent so much of my time on over the last decade. So although these videos don't get the sort of views that I could get if I focus solely on these standout big features of the canal, I absolutely love to share my actual lived memories of the place, such as here. Why am I showing you this prolonged shot of these random trees? Well, it's because a decade ago when I was in this exact spot, this is the scene that met me, and I'd actually heard shouting in the small hours of the night and couldn't see what was going on in the pitch black and snow-filled air. And of course, when I woke up and realised, oh my goodness me, there's trees down in the snow all over the canal. And then it hit me, hang on, there was a boat here yesterday. And of course, the shouts had been from the people on board that boat trying to organise in the pitch black freezing environment, getting the tree off their boat and then getting the boat hauled through the tunnel. I've often wondered what a moment of absolute panic it must have been, being woken up by a tremendous clatter, being out in the middle of nowhere on a boat, and then having to scrape a tree off the roof and then fetch a boat in the small hours in the bitter cold, snow still falling, and immediately have to come through a tunnel as well, just to compound the misery. But I'd be surprised if they didn't have some fond memories and haven't retold that story many times, because I certainly have. Even a memory from a moment such as that, where I'll admit I suddenly had a huge onset of doubts about whether I could make boat life a long-term feature or not, with the cold, the conditions, and the fact that I had nothing but my boots and a bike to commute to work from somewhere like this. And I think the following day, when I was wading through 4 foot of snow between the two tunnels and seeing all of the trees that had come down overnight, and there was moments where I was like, wow, this is amazing, this is fantastic and beautiful to be here, but how long can I do this for? How cold am I going to be when I get to my destination? Are my trousers really freezing around my ankles? Just look at this scene here. Stood on the back of my tiny boat of that era, hands absolutely freezing, shaking the poor quality camera that was available to me at the time. And yet what a scene of absolute bliss and maybe even a little bit of isolation there. Beautiful in its own way. Fast forward on some years, I'm here, exact same spot, with a different boat, trying to set up a lifestyle with my girlfriend afloat. Absolutely beautiful evening, and Of course, between Sam's sleep apnea and Charlie's snoring, we decided to abandon that particular night. But again, just like the snowy incident, what an absolutely vital learning experience as we are trying to decide what sort of boat do we want. Do we want a bigger boat or two smaller boats, one each? The significant thing is not what particularly happened on that night or what happened on that snowy night in the distant past, but the lessons that I learnt and the reality check that it gave me to go, right, before I get too romantic here with this magic of boat life and the canals in the snow or the canals on a sunny evening, there's realities that we all have to live by. Is this a productive way to spend my time, or am I driving myself down a dead end in life here? And luckily, I marched through all that and absolutely love boat life still to this day. Take a look at this, my friends. Bridge 26W. It's not an incredible standout feature. It's not an epic aqueduct or tunnel or anything like that. It's just a standard canal bridge, of which there are hundreds upon hundreds across the network, and even a great deal of them just in this region. Yeah, just look at how beautiful it is. We're by a main road that leads up to Llangollen in the distance there. We've got cars in the distance. We've got small aircraft overhead. But listen to that. You can hear the birds in the trees still. The road will quieten down later on. The sun will set over in that direction and cast a huge orange light across here with the really long shadows. And it's somewhere that, again, it's nothing. If you look on a map, it's the last place you'd draw attention to. And yeah, I've spent some absolutely beautiful weeks here over the years. Absolutely fantastic. Something that people may not realise about these sort of sections of canal is that because they don't tend to attract a lot of people or a lot of holiday boats, as there's no supplies or features of interest around, they'll attract a few private boaters such as myself, so we're just away from the busier sections and just on the edge of society, not too far away. So I love the fact that even right now there's people living in the area and making their own series of memories that in a decade they may look back on. And just as a final bonus feature here, I wanted to just show you this culvert I found years ago. And it's something I love, that just all over the place there's these streams passing beneath the canal, and just look at how well made just that random little culvert is from back in the good old days of craftsmanship. I'd like to thank you all for watching, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed my wistful musings. Please do consider, if you want to help me out, checking out my short boat life books available for the Kindle and as a paperback. You'll find links to those and all sorts of stuff in the description below. Until the next time, my friends, have an absolutely fantastic day. Keep it interesting, keep it boat worthy, and of course, my friends, farewell.